This isn't They Talk Funny. This is the Check-In Show. So it is Paul Ash, Mike Gamache, and Claudio Capri. We're all hold it. You're not Claudio.
No, you're funny-looking Claudio.
How are you doing? Welcome. Don Zanklin is joining the panel.
Hey, Don.
Hey, how are you?
Welcome. I just realized how I thought I can just slide into this, do it nice and easy, and I had left up the They Talk Funny like logo right there, which looks like it should be part of Don's window. It looks perfectly there.
Yeah, there we go.
So,
Sponsored.
This is They Talk Funny adjacent. This is the Check-In Show, where we sit around and talk about. Well, basically, we're trying to keep each other sane during lockdown. Now that lockdown is ending, we're only at 21 episodes. It feels like, that was a short lockdown, but it took a long time to get this thing started, and we're still adding to the recipe.
Yes.
Hopefully, Claudio will be showing up.
Well, look, he shows up, he doesn't. Yeah. Welcome, Don.
Oh, thank you.
A welcome edition.
Oh, thank you. I'm broadcasting from sunny Ottawa.
Oh, cool. Well, it's sunny. I'm in sunny West Island, Montreal, so.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
And I am in perpetually cloudy Verdun. No, it's beautifully sunny.
Verdun, the city with the dark cloud over it perpetually.
But borders have opened, so now Ontario can creep into Quebec.
Oh, my Lord, yes. We can intermingle. Oh, my God.
Yeah, I was at one of your beaches.
Oh.
Not the nude one.
No. Whew.
They managed to actually protesters blocked the border between New Brunswick and Nova Scotia.
Yes,
this past week.
Well, the Atlantic bubble has its own sort of like little foibles. It's got its own particular little. They're very finicky, very protective of each other and of the bubble. So it's like there's been some trouble.
Oh, I guess they didn't block the border into Prince Edward Island. They don't care about Anne of Green Gables.
Well, at one time they did block off the access to the bridge. They did control it early on in the pandemic. They were very.
I believe that was PEI that did that because they had no cases.
They had no cases whatsoever.
Oh, wow!
It's an island, New
Zealand.
Yes, like New Zealand, very much smaller, but
much smaller, nice. A lot redder.
A lot redder, yes. I've been there. It's very red in PEI.
Oh, they need to put that in their tourism campaigns. Now I want to go. I was like, will I find hobbits that live in the red sand? Like,
they also have some of the warmest water on the east coast of Canada. They have some of the No,
really?
It's New Brunswick,
Absolutely
isn't it?
Not. No, Nova Scotia.
Northumberland Strait. Where's the warmest water, Paul?
See,
educate us.
Put in your mind the view, right?
Yes.
You've got Nova Scotia's here.
Yes.
Brunswick is in from it.
Yes.
There.
Yes. And PEI's up on top.
PEI is in a little V in between.
Yep.
Now, the water that comes down to PEI is the North Atlantic Stream.
Right.
So it is cold. It is melted glaciers.
Really?
Right?
It mixes with the Saint Laurent coming out. So that would be the warm influx on it. That's what's melting the glaciers.
But Paul, I've been to both PEI and New Brunswick around Shediac, and I've been to some beaches there. On the Northumberland Strait, the water is actually pretty warm.
Does it depend on the time of year?
I think so.
That would be like late August, most probably.
Yeah, July, August.
Because that's one of the things about the east coast of Canada is their springs start later than they do here in Montreal, but their fall stays warmer.
Right.
And that's mainly because of the ocean water being heated up through the summer. It holds the heat, and it takes longer for it to sort of for the seasonal change to happen. Yes. It also means that winters are a lot milder than they are here, even though like Halifax is a bit, slightly north of Montreal. It's close to the same. But the big thing is the Gulf Stream, which comes from
Yes.
Mexico, comes up, and that's why Nova Scotia is sort of like shaped like this. If you look at your map, Nova Scotia is sort of on an angle. That's because the water
And the Gulf
hits
Stream
it, and it just shifts it over.
Yeah.
Wow.
Towards England.
London, England is
Yeah.
further north than Montreal.
Yeah.
What?
Yes.
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 And the
Wow.
reason it has known for the foggy and rainy weather is the Gulf of Mexico Stream. February in Nova Scotia, if you want to take a boat about 40 clicks offshore, you can go swimming. If you don't mind the sharks, you can go swimming.
Gee, sharks.
Oh.
I think I'll stay on land.
But that's
Yeah.
that's why, like, when Juan Caboto was coming over,
Right.
his ships ran aground on fish off the shore of Newfoundland.
Yeah.
Because it is such a nutrient-rich water normally, and I mean they were just taking baskets and dropping them into the water and pulling up fish. That was one of
Them
things.
were the days.
Welcome to the history of
The
it's-
history,
I'm just-
history,
And
geology, geography, weather. We've got it all.
Well, this is cool because I haven't been more east than Quebec City, unfortunately. So I
Right.
know who to run my itinerary past. next
Well,
time.
Paul's
Awesome.
got Nova Scotia covered. I've been to PEI and New Brunswick,
Nice.
and I was born in Nova Scotia, but I left there when I was 2, so
Oh.
not much history there.
Oh no, that's okay. That's also not a good travel endorsement.
I had to get out.
My
I had to
parents
get out.
took me away. What do I know? I'm 2.
We've got. So, have you guys discovered anything in the past week, Dawn? Is there anything that you discovered during the pandemic that makes it a little bit easier for you that you've had the chance to enjoy?
Oh wow, lots of it. Unfortunately, all online. I'm actually. Am I allowed to plug things?
Plug away.
Yeah, okay.
Plug away.
Because I'm giving my first ever 30-minute talk this Saturday. I'm part of a conference or summit called the Artpreneurs Summit, and it's for all these creatives who, like, from the people who do this full-time, creative work full-time, to the people like me who have their creative work as a side hustle. This is where you can go, you can take advantage of free passes, find out tips and tricks from other people who've been there. And so it's 30 speakers, 3 days, and it's fantastic. So the reason why I signed up to do this is because I actually signed up to go and attend a similar type of event, and there were so many things. I kept sort of like, splitting my time between work and looking at this stuff. And then by the time I was done, I thought, okay, I need to overhaul my Instagram. I have to overhaul, Facebook. And I knew why. And this sort of thing is priceless because you don't have to reinvent the wheel. You can focus on the work, do the stuff that other people have already done and have tested.
Right.
And it's a community, right? And in the pandemic, these online communities kind of saved me. Like people were griping about no brick and mortar places to do comedy.
Yeah.
And meanwhile, people are making spaces virtually. Like there's the Unknown Mike comedy club, and everything's virtual, even the host. So instead of people, just complaining, doing something about it. Like even like Derek Seguin, like he had content for an album nominated for a Juno for a comedy album. Because he wasn't sitting on his ass kind of thinking, oh God, I'm just going to wait till everything opens. No.
Well, that album was recorded like the last night or the weekend before the shutdown.
Yeah.
Oh.
He actually recorded 2 albums.
Wow.
But he called it, so he has a sequel ready to go already for the next one, but he called it the Panderic.
Yeah.
And he then did his Panderic podcast or comedy rant with interacting with the audiences over Zoom.
Yeah. I loved seeing that because I thought, well, there's so many ways of just reimagining something that might be a problem. And I think if not for the pandemic, I wouldn't have seen like these object lessons in doing that.
Well, one of the things I think will come out of this pandemic is there will be if you will, a mutation or a different way of looking at performing for artists, regardless of their medium, regardless of what they do, whether it be visual arts, whether it be movies, whether it be stand up, comedy skits, music. There's going to be a shift, I think, to a more of a hybrid, if you will, of the scene. We will still have the live thing, because I don't think the live thing will ever go away, because let's face it, it's like theater. You need to have that interaction with your public. But there will also be that hybrid offshoot of, well, you can also catch me online. You can also go and find me here. I have these other side projects that are not part of my stand-up regular, sets and the things I take on the road, but it's something else that I put out online that is an adjunct, if you will, to the main body of your work.
No, I completely agree. I think it's going to be like a golden age of independent producers. People like Paul. There's going to be a lot of people who are, well, no, seriously, like people who are kind
that
of
was
like
a deer in the headlights look there, Paul.
Oh, but seriously, people are going to realize that they don't need permission to be able to go out there and find their people and speak to them. That you don't have to go sign up and wait till someone green lights you to allow you to do it.
Exactly.
You can just, think about something you can offer that's unique and go do it. It was awesome to see, because I kind of was one of these, I'm still getting used to being in comedy, just to kind of like, oh, wait, they actually want me to do this. Like, I don't have to go just sit in an audience and watch other people. So
hold just a second.
Yeah.
What are you doing Monday? What are you doing
Monday?
Monday?
Oh, Monday. Oh my gosh, I'm in BattleCom. I'm in BattleCom on Monday. And that
nice plug, Paul. Nice plug.
That is so important. Thank you, Paul. But this is like a perfect example. Like, you created this space, this nerd game show, and nerds like me who are funny love this shit. So we show up and we can improvise, we can use our jokes, and we can talk about nerd stuff. And then that's a great way to build a following. And then people will come see us in comedy shows, live or online. It's awesome.
Yep. It feeds upon itself.
Exactly.
Yeah. And this is season 2, episode 10 of BattleCom. And you have done the live. So that was something that it's morphed from what it was as a live show. But it still has the same spirit. And I like the online version a little bit more. Well, no, I love being live in front of an audience, but I like,
there's nothing like that.
I like the little changes that we've done. I think that it's kind of proven that BattleCom would work as a TV show.
Easily.
It needs that like immediate interaction with the audience. That we get with thanks to we're using StreamYard to broadcast, but we're also using Slido to keep that live interaction with the audience so the votes can come in, and so the technology is there. So
exactly, like a live studio audience would be seamless to work in. One of the things I really enjoy about the online BattleCom experience is that it's more immersive. You've got lots of different ways of engaging people, and that makes it just like a lot more exciting as an audience member to watch. Because I think there was at least once that I tuned in just to like watch and enjoy the show, because it was great to watch. Mondays are just a little sometimes tricky for me, but I really, really enjoyed it even as an audience member.
And we do the best things to, we try to keep the audience as engaged as possible. I mean, they're doing their voting, but we're encouraging them to comment. And we also have the name the mashup that happens between rounds. So that's the game for the audience to play along with, and the comedians are judges. So. There's an example of a hybrid show. I guess.
Don, I think you missed the memo on the official uniform of black T-shirt.
Oh yeah, exactly.
Black and white. Black and white.
Dun, dun, dun. But that's it. I like to stir things up.
that is actually probably a better thing to wear to go get your vax shot.
Yes.
Having them off the shoulders. There's I think it was Rouge Fatale, a drag performer in Halifax, actually made a point of wearing an open shoulder top to go get their vaccine, just so they'd be stylish at the same time.
Of course.
Yeah.
Yes.
I've heard some stories of formal wear, but I think I just wore a t-shirt. I was just like, oh, just glad to be here. Get it over with.
Well, if you're getting your vaccination, you should be working it.
Yes, true. Maybe it'll be like the earrings and the,
yes.
the blazer.
I actually in the past week I've discovered 2 documentary TV series. I finished one of them and I just started the other one. The first one I watched, which I just kind of devoured, it was only 4 episodes, is called Punk.
Okay.
Ooh.
And Punk is about the history of punk music, like from MC5 right up to Green Day, with a couple nods to some modern examples of punk music.
Right.
And so I knew, like, I was familiar with MC5. I had no idea like exactly what they went through. Do you guys know MC5?
I don't.
The punk started in Britain, right? So, I mean, were they a British band? No?
Nope.
No?
And no.
Okay.
All right, you need to watch this documentary.
Yeah,
okay, are we talking punk rock? Like okay.
We're talking punk rock. The MC5 sort of, they teamed up with the Yippies at the Detroit National Democratic Convention.
Yeah, okay.
Right, and apparently a lot of bands were invited, and they were the only one. They said yes. Apparently, the other bands had said yes, but then kind of turned around when they saw the police presence.
Right.
And their most famous song is "Kick Up the Jams, Motherfucker," which
not getting a lot of airplay on AM radio.
Probably not.
No, it did not, but it was groundbreaking. Did you? Are you not familiar with? You've never heard that song?
No, I can't say I have.
But you know what? I have a vague idea of punk roots. I know that there were a lot of black connections to
yes,
punk
there were,
history,
especially in London.
In London? Oh,
yes.
I didn't know that.
It was an offshoot. It was sort of an offshoot of reggae ska that became like very, very much like working class, very rough, very like focused on anarchy and
Yeah.
I mean, early stuff like the Sex Pistols and London Calling.
That was sort of the second wave.
That was the second wave, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, the first wave, like MC5 came out, and I'm just so you guys can hear this. By the way, if there's any children present, maybe.
Oh no, I've got my headphones on.
I got my headphones on.
All right.
Sensitive ears, stay away. This is 1969?
72.
72, okay.
This is the recordings from 72.
Okay.
So the guy on the far left of the screen was 14 when he joined the band.
Wow.
He's not 14 there.
Okay.
So the lead singer actually came up with a manifesto, which ended up having them drop from their label.
Wow.
Yeah. Okay. That's awesome. Except that I don't find that that's extremely punkish, because
this is the origin. They were the first ones to kind of have that growl, to have that aggressive guitar.
Yeah.
And somebody that they tried to recruit into their band ended up who was a blues drummer.
Right.
They wanted to have him as a drummer. Said no because he wanted to sing himself and front his own band. Was a guy whose last name was Ostenberg. He changed it to Iggy Pop.
Awesome.
And so
Okay.
the opening band for MC5 for a good little bit was Iggy Pop and the Stooges.
Stooges, yeah. See, the Stooges, I see as punk
Right.
more than this guy here. They're first of all, I remember in the early days of punk, like in the late '70s, early '80s, one of the things that especially the British bands prided themselves in is they didn't really play music well. And they didn't give a fuck,
So how did they get
it
the
was like,
credibility to be listened to?
because they were all act. They were all attitude, and people would attack the
You're
audience.
talking mainly
they would
the Sex Pistols, but
the Sex Pistols, but also it was more of an attitude than an actual music form at the beginning. It morphed into, like, when you get into things like the Ramones, they had musical talent. Iggy Pop and the Stooges, they had musical talent. There was even this band here, like I said, they actually played good music. So there was sort of like a subculture. I think there was sort of like punk rock, and then there was like dirty punk rock, which was like street punk rock, which was like, we're going to smash our instruments, we're going to smash up the club. That's what the attraction was to going to see these people. They put on a show. The music, you weren't there for the music, you were there for the bloody show, and they put on a show, and it was like, it was like constant mayhem.
There's
cool.
I do recommend the documentary because like they covered a lot of things, because after like the Detroit scene, that's when the New York scene started coming up. It's CBGB's,
right,
which was supposed to be a country and western bar.
Yes,
but one of the first acts they booked was Wayne County because the owner thought it sounded
country.
but
big mistake.
the lead singer was somebody who eventually transitioned.
Right.
So the band is now actually Jane County.
Right.
But they were named Wayne County, though Jane is from Georgia. They so admired Iggy Pop and the Stooges, so that was a huge influence with them. But then you had the Ramones kind of come out of that. You also had Blondie coming out of that.
Yeah, the Clash.
No, the Clash is British.
No, okay, right. Okay.
But you had all that happening. The New York Dolls.
Yes.
Which,
I really like the New York Dolls. They had some great stuff. And who's their lead singer?
Sylvain. I'm trying to think what their stage name was, but they ended up self-destructing in heroin, more or less. But there was it was New York. It was the 70s. There were mixed bands happening at that time, and Malcolm McLaren got involved a little bit at that point, and he sort of went to import it. When the New York Dolls broke up, he had promised like the one person in the band who was not an alcoholic heroin addict, that he'd fly them over, and he says, I'll build a band for you. And then he built a band, and that was the Sex Pistols. But at the same time, you had the Clash. Now, there's very few places in North America for punk to play, but in the UK, there was, like London, there was specifically one club that had an open mic that tolerated punks, but it was a reggae club. And that's where the influence of ska came in, because the sound people were playing reggae albums between acts. And so Joe Strummer of the Clash, that's kind of they adopted in that punk, and so the punk ska movement came out of that,
and that spawned things like Elvis Costello, and actually the Police were considered a little punk at the beginning. And so there was everything morphed, and then I remember this one band from San Francisco called The Tubes. If you ever want to check out some of their tunes, they had really great tunes, but their live shows were off the hook. They were insane, like theatrics, and they'd ride Harley Davidsons on stage. They in back in the, I think this was like late 70s, at the height of the disco. They were completely anti-disco, and they like simulate sex on stage. They outlandish costumes, really off the hook, but also very musically tight.
Cool.
And
there's actually a Canadian version of that.
Oh, yeah?
Actually, the documentary mentions at least one Canadian band
okay,
as being like in like the third wave,
Right.
maybe third or fourth wave of punk.
Mhm.
That really changed things. That they sort of opened up the touring network in the United States. Was a Canadian band
Which
because they
is
didn't have restrictions back then
Right.
about Canadian performers going down.
Right.
And that's DOA with lead singer Joe
Oh, yeah.
Shithead from Vancouver.
right.
Yeah, I recommend it. There's a lot into that documentary, and it's entertaining, and the music is there.
Okay.
The interviews with the survivors.
Who carries that?
Yeah. What's the platform?
I'm trying to remember. I think I might have watched it on Crave, or it could have been on Prime.
Oh, no worries. I will.
Okay, we'll
seek it
Google
out.
it. We'll Google it.
Yeah.
And
that's
it's just called Punk. It's
just
a
called
couple
Punk,
years.
okay.
Yeah, it's a couple years old.
Yeah.
There is the other documentary that I watched. I don't know if it came out last year or if it's just coming out this year, and that is The Comedy Store.
Oh, cool.
Oh, I want to see that for
Yeah.
sure.
So yeah, it is. What is his last name? I'm trying to remember the last name of the director, but it's co-produced by Peter Shore, which is
Right.
the Mitzi Shore's youngest son.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know she had more than one.
Oh, she has four
children?
three children.
Oh,
yeah.
3. Wow.
Actually, no, she had four. One was in university. Well, like when she broke up with her husband, one was in university, and she had 3 at home. So
Wow.
2 boys and a girl.
I can't believe she ran the store with all of that. I had no idea she was a.
She was a
Wow.
yeah.
Force of
She was a
nature.
modern woman, a force of nature,
Yeah.
a Renaissance gal.
Totally.
It's amazing. I know that we're hitting a half hour already.
Oh, wow. That
I
was
don't
fast.
Yeah.
It goes so fast.
So quickly when you're involved in very big discussions of important topics. Time flies. Time just goes bang.
It kind of makes me want to go back. Actually, watching it go back. Mike Binder.
Mike
Or
Binder.
Binder. I'm not sure how it's supposed
Yeah.
to be pronounced. He's the person who's the director of the Comedy Store.
Okay.
He's actually directed a lot of things, but he started out his in Hollywood was being a comedian and getting on at the Comedy Store and doing all that. And eventually, he kind of moved into writing and then into that from there to directing.
Oh yeah, I was reading. He was mentioned in a book I was reading about the Comedy Store. The title escapes me. But it's a book that was actually before the pandemic being passed around the comedy community here in Ottawa.
Right.
I don't know if it actually got passed after I passed it on, but it was really a cool concept to learn about the history and even people like Marsha Warfield. I didn't realize that she was part of that integral core before they started formalizing payment rates. So she came up with like Jay Leno and David Letterman and just all of that. And I had no idea. I thought she was just Night Court.
Yeah.
And then she's this
No,
legend.
she was an amazing stand-up comic before Night Court.
Yeah.
Very much so.
They were the NBC execs. A lot of the execs would go and hang out at the Comedy Store.
Yeah.
A part of that was
Coach talent.
because
Yeah.
Johnny was he was pulling comedians from there. It was a very symbiotic relationship between Johnny Carson and Mitzi Shore because when he decided that he wanted to leave New York and take the Tonight Show to Los Angeles,
Right.
that's when Mitzi sort of got the Comedy Store happening.
Right.
And it became a feeder for the comedians who would go onto the Tonight Show. That's why it was such a big thing years later when Stephen Wright, who was based in Boston, actually went because they were almost always from Los Angeles or a few from New York.
Yeah, New York. Yeah.
That was the only places that you had comedians from on the Tonight Show.
Cool.
But it's amazing, Richard Pryor worked out of that room, but J.J. Walker.
Oh
You
yeah.
know, right? I this morning I sort of finished off the episode with Freddie Prinze Jr.
Oh.
Okay.
And about like the interaction and the reaction of all the comedians at that time, including his roommate, who some people blamed because the story was falsely spread that Freddie Prinze used Marty's gun. So he didn't. But Marty and J.J. Walker went with Freddie Prinze when he went to buy the gun.
Oh, yikes.
So it's
So
there's a lot.
Where's that documentary? Is that probably the same place?
That
Similar
one
place?
that one was definitely on Crave.
Okay.
Ah.
But,
No, I
So-
love this stuff. Yeah.
So Claudio has not graced us with his presence. We miss him,
Mm.
but I guess we'll see him next week.
we'll see you
Hopefully.
next week.
Yeah, hopefully.
Don, do you want to be back?
Oh yeah,
next
yeah.
week?
Anytime. This worked out really well. Like I'm on lunch break right now, but
Just
Hey.
don't remember to snack, okay?
Yes.
It's
Oh,
okay
yeah,
to
yeah.
Eat on camera with us.
Yeah, it's fine. Claudio ate a whole chicken the other day
cool. I'm sorry,
Tucked
I
it
missed
in everything.
in a white shirt before an interview. I was like, holy crap.
That was great. Yeah, anytime.
Oh, I'd like to take a minute and and give a shout out to my father. Yesterday turned 93.
Woo!
Yes, indeed. And he said he's feeling great. He's in great spirits. And he says, oh, you know what? 7 years isn't very long. He says he wants to go for triple digits. So judging by his attitude and the way he sounded on the phone when I spoke with him, I wouldn't bet against him.
Boom. No,
Exactly.
I wouldn't either. So it's
Yeah.
I'm surprised I hit double digits. That's kind of weird. No,
So you went from 9 to, oh my God.
and I'm not just talking about my cholesterol level. There is. I don't know what's the digits on cholesterol.
I think it's up to 10. I think it's upwards of 10 is not good.
Yeah. All right. So most people have blood. I have gravy. There is,
I hear you. I
Self-based.
started
Sprinkle yourself with
vegan this week.
sprinkle yourself with fries and curd
Oh,
cheese, and you're a poutine.
I'm very sorry to hear that, Don. I mean, you do what's good for you. But,
Not that fries and curd cheese is going to help your cholesterol any, but
Exactly. We'll see how long it
she
sticks.
has to have vegan gravy with that poutine.
yes.
Yeah,
there
we'll
you
see
go.
how long
And
it
vegan
lasts
cheese.
because I was really grumpy yesterday. I was just like, what am I going to eat?
I want a burger,
Is that-
but I can't eat
is
a
that-
burger.
I just kind of want to point out that's not real leather on your headphones, is it?
Maybe I can put some salt.
Oh no!
No,
I
not
was
to eat it.
suggesting that you wouldn't be allowed to use that.
Oh, right. No, I haven't embraced all aspects of the lifestyle, but yeah, this was a deal, so it's probably not anything that lived.
Okay. Yeah.
Well, it
Well, it
did
might-
when it was a dinosaur before
Exactly.
it became oil, which then got turned
It
into
became plastic. Yeah.
Ah, right.
Everything at one point was a dinosaur.
We are all made of stars.
Yes.
Yeah.
We're all stardust. Yes.
All right, this has been amazingly fun. Also, want to give a happy birthday wish to Lynn Alexander, who usually pops into these streams.
Yeah.
So if you're watching it on repeat, Lynn, you didn't say hello today.
Yeah.
Happy birthday to you. I know it was yesterday. But thank you for tuning in as much as you do, and I want to thank Don for joining us here.
Yes. Thank you,
We
Don.
have gone
Thanks for having
from
me.
3 to 4, even though we don't have 4 on screen. So everyone, be good, be kind to each
Yes.
other, keep
Be well.
safe,
Be well. Be safe. Yep.
and even in that 2 weeks after you get your second shot,
Yeah.
you can still potentially infect others because you now have the activated virus in you.
So
please
mask
remember
up.
to wear the
Wash
mask.
your hands. Keep your distance.
But that's 2 weeks on the extreme. They're
Yes.
thinking so.
Yeah.
Just to be careful and be kind to others.
Yes.
Everyone.
Thank you, Don.
Cheers.
See you
Thank
next
you.
week.
See you next week.
Bye.
Bye.
And thank you all for watching. I hit the wrong button.